Hey everyone, it's Mendez here, and we're playing the Castle Illusion again! We're on level 4. Yeah, basically I've been so, it's so annoyed me that we've not actually finished this game, even though we started it in the last 500 subscriber special thing. I've decided to carry on playing this in the background while I answer your questions. Yay! So maybe well, I don't know if we'll finish this game. We're on level 4 out of, I think, 6. So I don't really know if we'll be finishing it, but maybe we will. Anyway, I have a load of questions! You guys have given me a load of questions, even though, like, 90% of them are from one person. But still, you guys have been asking me loads of questions, and that's good. That makes me feel loved inside. So I'll be going through them in order of your asking. And we're in Cakeland. ShadesofScorpius asks, do we post the questions here? It might be a little bit late to answer this one, but yes. Yes you do. And I don't know where this thing has started, where people think they only have one question. You can ask me 50 bajillion questions if you want, and I will answer them all. As proven by Badgerati, who's asked like 50, and I died there. dqyoshi asks, will you upload more LP episodes once every day? That's kind of the idea. See, my style in playing games in general, and pretty much anything in general, is that I have an incredibly short attention span. And that's kind of why I'm hoping this is going to work, because it's going to let me do more games while still being regular, and because I can't really confine myself to like one game or whatever, and that's a large part of the inspiration behind this latest format change. So hopefully this will let me continue having a really short attention span, but actually also bring you videos. As well, my attention span is pretty much evidenced by the fact that, you know, I kind of have a lot of LPs on hiatus at the moment, if you didn't realise. Anyway, next gem, yay! James Bob 006 asks, who is best pony? That's not a very grammatically correct question, but it is a question, so I shall answer it anyway. Who is best pony? I assume referring to My Little Pony Friendship with Magic, which I mentioned being a fan of during the last video I made. I gotta say, even though you are a fan of Fluttershy, I gotta say I am more of a fan of Rainbow Dash. Because she's like 20% cooler than Fluttershy. I mean, you gotta admit that. She's like 20% cooler. At least 20% cooler, at least. Probably, I think Fluttershy is probably my either second or third favourite. I'm not sure if I joint second with Applejack, I would say. And if you're not a fan of My Little Pony Friendship with Magic, that is the only pony-related question I got. So, yeah, pony section over. Chris42 asks, I get a question? Yes, you do. And I just game overed. I'm fantastic at this game. Yes, you do get a question. Did you want to ask it? Well, he also asks, what is your favourite anime? What is my favourite anime? That is an interesting question. I don't think I've really watched as much anime as I would like to, or as much anime as I give the impression of having watched. If that statement made any sense. But, oh man, that is an impossible to answer question. I hate favourite questions. And I notice I've got more favourite questions coming up, so that's fantastic. Like, I find it very hard to make favourites. Because I generally find a lot of things very good, and I would find it impossible to choose a favourite out of all the things I like, if you get me. Probably, in terms of sheer awesomeness, K-On! But again, I'm not sure if that's an answer that's just because I've watched K-On! Recently, or if that's an answer because K-On's actually an awesome anime. So anyway, I would have to say K-On! That is my answer that I've given. And I can't go back on that answer now. I guess. He also asked, what was your first anime that you watched online? Yeah. That's also an interesting question. I seem to remember at the age of about 12... Well, what... the difference between the first anime I watched online and the first anime I watched ever. And I've totally forgotten where I'm going in this game now. Because the first anime I watched online, I genuinely can't really remember. I do remember sort of laying on my bedroom floor and having my massive computer on the floor. That was an awesome setup. And, you know, watching anime, I think it was probably Dragon Ball Z that I would have been watching at that point. Oh god, where's the apple gonna land? Okay, it didn't land on me, that's good. It would probably have been Dragon Ball Z that I had been watching, and I would probably have got it from certain illegal sources. And that was probably when I was like, 12 or 13-ish. Like 2 or 3 years after discovering internets. But yes, I definitely have the memories, but I don't remember exactly which series it was, but it's probably Dragon Ball. The Nerd Factory asks, why cheese? Well, Nerd Factory, the answer to that is very simple, but also at the time, very complicated. You see, cheese... What's the best way to put this? Cheese is cheese, you know? Cheese is cheese. And, you know, I think Tim Minchin said it best in his song, which was simply entitled Cheese, where he said, cheese, repeatedly. I think that's a good fundamental part of understanding why cheese, ultimately. I mean, there's plenty of studies into cheese and why cheese, but, you know, I think Tim Minchin's is probably the definitive answer to why cheese. MC McFlippyhoo, who I have made a typo on my text document as McFlippyhoo, as you can see there. I'm sorry. I want to know how much you love gaps between North American and EU release dates. That's not really a question because it doesn't end with a question mark, but I shall answer it anyway. I absolutely abhor gaps between North American and European release dates. Like, if the European one's first, then awesome. But on the whole, I just don't see why it takes so long to translate from English to English. Like, I can sort of understand for a Layton game, because Layton games, they require not just translation, but they also require some amount of localization, because, you know, some puzzles that make sense in America might not make sense in England, if you get me. An example was actually in Layton 3, where I didn't understand that one where the boy was saying sweet, because yeah. I automatically assume that it would be the girl that would be saying sweet, and, like, yeah. So I can understand with certain games, but, like, with most games, like, for example, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, why? There's absolutely no reason for it. I mean, the only difference between... The fact is, the only difference between them is the region code, where they have to change a single number, and maybe... maybe the encoding, like PAL or NTSC, but still, that is pretty much irrelevant nowadays. You know, it shouldn't be that difficult to transfer a game from PAL to NTSC, and it's just... Why make it so that we can't import by having region codes, while also making it so we can't buy the game for ages? Ah! And that block totally landed on my head. It just completely baffles me as to why. It's just bad business sense. And I think Nintendo's probably the worst culprit, although they have been getting better with, say, Skyward Sword, which we get 2 days early. Yay! But still, things like Kirby games, it just doesn't make sense to me. Why can't you localise for EU at the same time you localise for the US? Is just... I don't know. And I hate this level, by the way. Badgerati asks, so, you want quite plenty of questions, eh? Yes. But looking at the list of questions you provided me, not quite that many. He also asks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 other questions! So this is going to be the Badgerati section of the video. What's your favourite manga? I have not read that much manga. I will be the first to admit that. The only manga I remember reading. I remember reading 3 manga. The Kingdom Hearts manga, the K-On! Manga, and Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, I think it was. And of those 3, like, favourite is something that I don't like doing. But I'd say my favourite was probably Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, primarily because that's the only one where, you know, I saw it as a manga. If I actually game over and I don't get any continues, oh, well, poop. So instead, we'll switch over to Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay. Yeah, my favourite manga of those would probably Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, primarily because I first read that as a manga, whereas Kingdom Hearts I first played as a game, and K-On! I first watched as an anime, but Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight doesn't have an anime, I don't think. And I'm not playing. Oh, I need to press start, don't I? I'm good at video games! So that's why that's my favourite manga. What's your favourite anime / manga character? Good question. Difficult to say. I should have probably thought about the answers to these questions beforehand, but you know what? That's not how I roll. We're live. So my favourite anime / manga character would probably be... hey everyone, it's Mindes here. I'm going to level with you guys. It's actually the next day. I was planning on doing this whole thing where, like, I was playing Sonic and I would, like, play for 5 minutes and then fast forward it at, like, 3 times speed and then pretend it took me that long to think of an answer for the question, but I ended up getting interrupted and basically it's the next day now. So we're back on Castle of Illusion. And as for the question, I don't think I can avoid saying Osaka from Azumanga Daioh. I don't think that any character has quite come close to the level that Osaka was in terms of being my favourite. Yay! Okay, back to answering questions mode. Badgerati also asks, why is 6 afraid of 7? Well, Badgerati, that would be because 7, 8, 9. No, but seriously, 7 is a cannibal, so honestly, the police are looking for him right now. If you see 7 anywhere, please don't approach him. Just call the police. They'll take care of everything. He's very dangerous. Next question! Also from Badgerati. When are you and Badgerati going to upload another co-op? Why are you asking me this? Anytime. Anytime you want to! Anytime you can find a good 2-player game we can play. In fact, does anyone have any suggestions for good games me and Badgerati could co-op? I'm not really sure. I don't think we have any immediate plans. Well, we have plans for future games on Wii/Wii U platforms, but I don't think we have any plans for games currently slated to be released, or games that are currently out. So if anyone has any suggestions. You might want to post those, and we can like maybe do one. Why are you asking me this? You're not the one that's supposed to ask me when we're going to upload another co-op thing with you. You're half the team, man. You're half the team. you gotta help. Yeah. He also asks, is this question a lie? Which doesn't make any sense. So, honestly, I think you should think about your questions before you ask them. Because if it doesn't make sense like that, then chances are I'm just not going to answer it. Because there is no way I can answer this. And for it to make any kind of sense. Ah! I didn't know I could land there. Bubble time! He also asks, this is his like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th question. The Rabbit Overlord told me to sacrifice a soul for the greater good. Should I? Usually I'd say no. But the Rabbit Overlord is a pretty reasonable guy. I think if he's asked you to do it... Also, that's a dick move, Sega. Why did you put that freaking pit there? That is a dick move, and I fell into that so many times as a kid. Honestly, if the Rabbit Overlord tells you to, I think it'll be fine. I don't foresee any problems anyway in the immediate future. Might be some if the police find out. So my only suggestion to you would be to not let the police find out. So there you go. I've solved your little moral dilemma there. Skull time! He also asked, what's your favourite book? Oh boy, another favourite question. I've not had enough of these. I haven't read many books. I'm not very book-ready kind of person. This shouldn't come as a surprise to you, honestly. The fish is trying to get me, the fish is trying to get me. This shouldn't come as a surprise to you, but however, my favourite book, I definitely do have a favourite book. And my favourite book is one you have probably never heard of or read. It is called Swallows and Amazons by Arthur Ransom. And it's one of the very few books I've actually read and enjoyed. So that's your answer. And the whole Swallows and Amazons series, as far as I've read, I've not read all of them. I really should do, because they're all in the other room. I really should get around to reading them all. But so as far as I've read, the whole series is awesome. So I would recommend checking them out if you haven't heard of them. So there you go. There's my recommendation. Mendez's official stamp of approval. He also asks, what is your favourite comic? I've not really been into comics for a really long time. Like, I do remember going to the supermarket every week as a kid, and I'd basically, as soon as we got past a certain point, I used to just run off and go to the comic/sweet section and just sit there until the other people were finished. That was my attitude to shopping. And I just like sat there and read the comics, and that was always fun. So while I was there, my favourite comic was probably Sonic the Comic. Now I should point, I don't know if it was Sonic the Comic. I know there have been a lot of different permutations of Sonic the Hedgehog comics, and I don't know which one it was that I read, because I've seen biopsies for both the like very recently. I've been looking into it, see if I could try and download them mostly. And I looked at some biopsies, and I don't remember any of the biopsies and what they were saying. Like, I don't know if I was reading something weird or if it actually was the UK comic. But I know there were different comics for the UK and the US. One was from Archie and one was from something else. And I don't know which version I read. I don't remember when you hit this guy. This is going to be an issue. I need to concentrate on this boss for a second. 1 second. I'm actually getting very close to the end of the game. I'm going to finish this game before I finish up questions. I just realised that. That's a scary thought. He also asks, what were you doing 749 days ago? Well, Badgerati. Well, Badgerati, it's good that you asked this question, because I think it's important that we remember what we were doing 749 days ago. You know, to make sure we don't have dementia or whatever. It's very important we can remember 749 days ago. That's a very specific number. So I'm going to have to look up what date it was 749 days ago. What date is it in X days? Do you think that'll do minus days? Maybe. Add to or subtract from. Okay, so we want today, and we want to subtract 749 days. I know why you've chosen 749 days. Friday the 11th... No, wait. Friday the 23rd of October 2009. Let's see. That would have been... Would that actually have been reading week in university? In the second year of university? That may actually... Oh no, I think that was the Friday before reading week, because reading week's usually the last week in October. So if that was the Friday before reading week, then I would probably have gone to university like a good student, and then got home and gone to sleep. Actually, no, I was living with you. You should know what I was doing. I was living with you at the time. We were housemates, kind of. We're living 3 doors away in freaking MSV, which I shall never mention ever again. You should know what I was doing. You were there. You were there, man. You were there. Pretty sure you were there. Anyway. He also asks, what would you do if hamsters took over the world? Well... that depends on, like, how much of a dictatorship the hamsters would run. Like, I can't imagine they'd be that angry. I mean, we've treated hamsters well. It's not like, say, mice, where if the mice took over, we'd be screwed, because, you know, we've been doing scientific experiments on them. So they'd probably take their revenge on us. Take the opportunity to do their own scientific experiments on us. That would be terrifying. But the hamsters, I think we've treated hamsters well. You know, we've given them cages. We've given them wheels. We've let them exercise. We've not treated them that badly. So I don't think it would be that bad. I think we'd probably... We'd probably be locked up in cages. And we'd probably have to run around on wheels. So that's probably what I'd do if hamsters took over the world. Whatever they let me do. And I've got all 7 gems, so we're on the last boss of the game! He also asked, should I continue writing questions, and I say no. Booquiz asks, isn't this what Formspring is for? Yeah, but nobody asked me questions on Formspring. If you want to ask me questions on Formspring, I will happily answer them. But, oh, well, as is the case with Formspring, I will usually write a really long reply to something, like I did with a couple of your questions, and then straight after, it'll be like, nope, I've forgotten what you said, so you gotta rewrite the whole thing, and I'll just get bored and I'll be like, yeah, screw that. I mean, you do have that problem with videos, where maybe the video won't actually save or whatever, but it seems like on Formspring, every question I answer, it just, like, forgets the answer to, and doesn't post it, and stuff. And I hate this last boss is actually fairly challenging. I don't like that. I also don't remember it at all. I just remember that it's challenging. Yeah, so we're probably going to finish this game before I finish the questions, which is sad. Mikey9835 asks, what game have you enjoyed the most throughout your Let's Playing career? I did answer this same question back in the 500 subscriber special. I don't think that my answer's changed. I think it's still latent. Purely because of how fun that LP was and how many people were watching it and stuff. I can bounce on your thing! That thing is really not threatening when you realise you can bounce on it. He also asks, what is on your list of games to buy for future episodes? Booquiz, if you're watching, could you please stop listening for a while, because I know you'll hate this section. Because Booquiz really doesn't like me starting new LPs, and I've finished the game. That boss wasn't challenging at all. Kid me is stupid. Well... Okay, so what's on my list of games to buy for future episodes? Let's make a mini hug. Oh no, the tower's coming down! The tower's coming down! Let's run! Oh no, there's a wall over there. I assume. Why did she run into a wall? I don't know. But we're going this way! We're going flying away as the Castle of Illusion fades into fireworks. Oh, those are the fireworks for my 1,000 subscriber target. I was wondering where those fireworks were. Chris42, is that your doing? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess so. We're flying up. Miss Rebel's our friend now. I don't know why. I don't know why she just doesn't drop us, considering I just jumped on ahead a few times. But whatever. Yay! Happy Disneyland! Everyone's happy in Happy Disneyland. And now I can feel happy because I've actually finished this game on my channel. Instead of just starting it and then ending halfway through like I do with almost all my LPs. And then it restarts from the beginning. Very abrupt cut back to the beginning. Oh no, these are the credits, whatever. What is on your list of games to buy for future episodes? Well, yeah, Booquist, stop listening. I want... Okay, here are the things I've definitely announced. The rest of the Zeldas. Layton 4. Layton's 1 and 2. At some point. The Phoenix Wright series I want to also LP. And people seem to want me to LP it in my channel comments. So yeah. Now then, let's move on to exclusive announcements. I want to... fairly soonish do Sonic Generations. That's definitely on my list. I don't know what else is on my list really, but you heard it here first. Exclusive footage. Sonic Generations coming soon. Maybe once I've actually finished one of my current LPs. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how much I get done in a day. I know there are other games, but I'm struggling to think of them at the moment. I really am struggling to think of them at the moment. Kirby Return to Dreamland I wish to do as well. Like, basically most Nintendo releases for the next year, let's say. Let's say I'm interested in doing those. Most Nintendo releases and or most RPG releases. Yeah. We'll leave it at that. Shados1000 says, are you offended by the guy 6 comments below me who said you only have 100 subscribers? No! Shadow1000 also asked, would you be if I said you had 10? No! Jenny Fletch asks, what did you get her sister for her birthday? Wow, that's really glitchy on the screen, isn't it? Let's look at the glitch and forget about this question. That's Eskimo326 asks, what was your best moment in your Kingdom Hearts series? I maintain very strongly that my Kingdom Hearts series is the worst thing I've ever LP'd. Well, not the worst thing I've ever LP'd, the worst LP I've ever done. Because everything about the entire... I did not like any of my commentary during that, and I understand some people do. I don't think there is an LP out there that likes the first LP they did. that truly likes it. Because it is an example of just the first piece of work you did. You know, an artist will look back at the first stick drawing he did and say, huh, that's pretty damn terrible. Someone will like it, but ultimately it just won't look good to the person that made it. And that's how I feel about my Kingdom Hearts LP. I mean, there's interlacing all over the place, the audio quality is pathetic, the commentary is pathetic, although that's not really changed. Yay! Self-insulting! And I don't like it. But my favourite moment was actually a moment I did not show in any video. It was a moment that I tried to film, but ended up not being able to. So it never actually got uploaded to my channel. And it was in fact the Sephiroth boss fight. Because I'd never experienced a Sephiroth boss fight before the LP. And I did try I was gonna like, I didn't think I'd actually do it, but I thought I'd be able to get enough footage that I'd actually be able to get a video up. But oh my god, that thing is hard. So I ended up not even being able to film an attempt without just curling up in the fetal position in the corner of the room. Sephiroth scared me. That was probably my best moment. I can't remember much from it in terms of what I actually uploaded. So I don't know. Still the worst LP I've ever done. Worst LP I've ever done. And that's all the questions. Definitely answered all the questions. And we'll watch the intro video to Castle of Illusion again, and then we'll say, "Hey everyone, this was Mendez doing a 1,000 subscriber Q&A answering session video thing. If you have any follow-up questions, ask them in the comments. I may choose to reply to just comments, or I may choose to like have a short follow-up video, depending on how many follow-up questions there are. Should I mark Castle of Illusion as one of my finished LPs? I didn't really LP it in the sense of like talk about the game at all. But I did play it. There is a full playthrough of Castle of Illusion on my channel. Oh, you're supposed to run straight under that one. I didn't know that. Yeah, so follow-up questions, ask, and that's about it. I'm going to go record some Binding of Isaac now, if my laptop can take it. This is not a promise, but it is a I will certainly definitely try. See you at, like... Where's my next special? It's 2,000 a kind of special number of subscribers. See you at 2,000 subscribers for something else. Probably another Q&A, because I have no imagination whatsoever. Yay! Oh, and if anyone was wondering... shut up, you. Just shut up, thank you. If anyone was actually wondering... yeah, this is Subscriber Special 3. Subscriber Special 2 will not be uploaded because YouTube has stupid systems sometimes. Subscriber Special 2 is supposed to be like a 10-hour-ish video where I went through each of my subscribers' pages individually and left them a comment, but like I got interrupted after 200 and I tried to do it the next day, but I'd completely like lost track of which subscribers I'd done and which I hadn't. So it got very complicated very quickly, and if only YouTube would like give me a list of subscribers in the order that they subscribe to me, then that would be trivial. But as it is, it's just like it's just a completely random freaking order, and it just randomizes itself every other day. So I just completely lost track of who I'd actually commented on and who I hadn't. So at the end, so ultimately, blame YouTube for why that subscriber special is not going to happen. I hope the 200 people that I did like their comments. I definitely got like good feedback from it, and I got like 2.5 hours of footage. But again, there's like 800 people that I haven't done it to because I just completely lost track. Yeah. So sorry there's no subscriber special 2. And that's all I have to say. See you next time at 2,000 subscribers for something else. And, you know, there'll be other videos along the way, hopefully. Hopefully.